even as the Indian Air Force pounds Pakistan positions under Operation Sindoor. Former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti has sparked off a fresh controversy. In a shocking statement, Mufti has said that India must learn from Pakistan, a remark that may see as an insult to our jawans. In fact, her comments come at a time when the nation is united behind its forces. In fact, raising serious concerns about her continued Pakistani prem, the backlash is growing with calls for accountability over her pro-Pakistan rhetoric. But what exactly it is that she has said, let me go across to Sagarika, who's joining us. Sagar, what is the post about?
Mehbooba Mufti says, and I'm just going to quote verbatim from her post on social media platform X, while fanatic mobs in our country are vandalizing shops, bulldozing mosques and digging up graves to punish the long-dead Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb across the border, his namesake, now this becomes the important point, Meghna, across the border, his namesake, Air Vice Marshal Aurangzeb Ahmad is training his forces for more air warfare. High time that India wakes up to the toxic narratives being amplified by TV channels that have dangerously distracted the country from its real challenges and priorities. While you can call out fanatic mobs for their actions, but the mention or the kind of the way she goes on to praise Air Vice Marshal Aurangzeb Ahmad, who is, as per Mehbooba Mufti, training his forces for modern airfare, you know, in a way eulogizing and lionizing the enemy. This is the question that many are asking. Is this the time to peddle this kind of a narrative? Over to you, Meghna.
Absolutely, and it is surprising. In fact, let me go across to Pranesh. At a time when many people from the INDIA bloc have been coming out and saying, today we stand united. Even the Prime Minister said the one thing which is going to ensure our victory is putting nation first. That message doesn't seem to have gone to the PDP chief.
You see, Meghna, this is another way by the ecosystem to seek proof. There's no way of saying it, but the reason that they're not saying it openly is because there was no room for them to maneuver. All the press conferences so far have had a PowerPoint presentation where picture proof was given by our forces. So what does Mehbooba Mufti do? She resorts to this. She can't get over her love for Aurangzeb, anything to do with Aurangzeb, and Mehbooba Mufti, you know, can't seem to hide it. Look what she's suggesting, and you know, while I describe this, let's just keep the post on screen so our viewers get the context. Mehbooba Mufti would have all of us believe that let Indian Air Force learn from the Pakistani Air Force. Really, Miss Mufti? What should our forces learn from Pakistani Air Force? How to, you know, peddle fake news? How to disown your own men or women? What should India's forces learn? How to push terrorists? How to give cover fire to terrorists? This is treachery of the highest order. I was just, you know, curious to go about her qualification. She seems to have done a degree in LLB from Jammu and Kashmir University. Well, this is her master's in treachery, and we shall call this out. No one has condoned attack on anyone who was either innocent or had nothing to do with you know, what was going on in Jammu and Kashmir. But from shedding tears for Burhan Wani to batting for OGWs, Mehbooba Mufti has become one OGW, and it is sad. Look where she's come. I think it was 1995-96 when Mehbooba Mufti first entered the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. From then she went on to hold the high office of the Chief Minister when J&K was a state. And now Mehbooba Mufti has really fallen to the pits. You can't go lower than this.
In fact, what's worse is that statement that she has made, hailing the Air Chief of Pakistan, is a great disservice, Pranesh, to our forces. At a time when our forces are coming out, the DGMO level briefings which have been given, of course, along with proof, we are fighting an enemy which does not make a distinction by those who are wearing uniforms and innocent civilians. We are fighting an enemy today where a so-called disciplined Pakistani military is targeting innocents. They are using heavy shells as well. In fact, do stay on with us. I believe we have RSN Singh who's joining us, as well as Sushant Sareen, strategic expert. Sushant Sareen, what do you make of the statement coming in from Mehbooba Mufti? And I'm going to read it verbatim. On one hand, we have in our country those people vandalizing shops, bulldozing mosques, digging up graves to punish the long-dead Mughal Emperor of Aurangzeb. On the other hand, in Pakistan, you have Air Vice Marshal Aurangzeb Ahmad, who's training his forces for modern air warfare.
No, look, Mehbooba Mufti is one of the most third-rate politicians in India. She has always been a separatist. She and her father were begging in India that, their party should be supported by the government when it was being formed. And she is one of those, one of those Kashmiris who tried to place both sides and literally begged that, she be assisted, they be funded. That is her background. But quite clearly, she is always been a separatist, always been an Islamist at heart. And she is reflecting what she has always been. I think with this tweet, it comes out quite clearly where her loyalties lie. They don't lie with India. She and her entire family need to be booted out and thrown out of India, and she can go and spend the rest of her life with this Aurangzeb fellow whom she so much admires, and she can become his murid. But on the more factual note, if the kind of modern training that this Aurangzeb character has given his Pakistan forces, I really wish they continue to give this kind of modern training to their forces, and they continue to get their butts kicked by the Indian armed forces and the Indian, the way we have destroyed the airfield. Now, if Mehbooba Mufti, because she wants to reach out to that fanatical element which might still be there in Kashmir and which she thinks that is her support base, and the Jamaat Islami and all those branches of humanity, she wants to reach out to them. She's most welcome.
Well, she is someone, however, interestingly, as you rightly pointed out, Sushant Sareen, is someone who's played both sides. So let me go across to RSN Singh. We also have Sajid Yusuf joining us from Jammu and Kashmir. But first, I'm going to go across to RSN Singh. Does it hurt? Does it hurt for someone who's been part of the Indian forces, who today takes so much pride in the valor and the precision strikes that they have carried out, ensuring that there are no civilian casualties being carried out by our Indian forces, that you have someone who's sworn by the Indian Constitution today coming out and valorizing Aurangzeb, the Air Chief Marshal of Pakistan, who has targeted our innocent civilians, RSN Singh?
No, it does hurt. It does not hurt. It hurts not because, someone like Mehbooba Mufti has said. It hurts that, our people can elect such a person to be the chief minister of the state. It hurts that her father was made the home minister.
Yes.
I don't know what were the forces behind, his elevation, to the level of home minister. But, take it from me, that time even the prime minister that time was subverted by the ISI. Otherwise, what was the reason of making this anti-national the home minister? And then this anti-national, I'm talking about her father, he got his own daughter kidnapped to bring in global jihad. And then, ma'am, it hurts that, the proxies within India, and I call this Pakistan within India, is so strong. You just can't, you can't dismiss me by just saying that it is not, we should not paint everybody with the same brush, etc., etc. But here is a person whom the Indians elected as the chief minister, and she continues to thrive in politics.
Absolutely. Someone who has been booted out of power by the people of Jammu and Kashmir today as a goal to compare our forces to the cowardice of the Pakistani forces in the name of Aurangzeb. In fact, let me go across to Sajid Yusuf, Jammu and Kashmir's PDP leader. Sajid Yusuf, your first reaction. This kind of a betrayal, but let's not forget, Mehbooba Mufti played both sides. There was a time when she allied with your government as well.
Mehbooba Mufti seems to be a mouthpiece of ISPR. Nowadays, she is speaking in favor of the Pakistan, and we all are aware that how our Indian forces dragged Pakistan from their own house, how their terror camps were destroyed by our Indian forces.